Hey folks, I'm Pocan Joe, and as always, you're pretty cool for swinging by. We're going to split this comic book haul into two sections, stuff that I have read and stuff that I haven't read, and stay tuned at the end to get a contest update on my 100 subscriber contest. Good stuff going out, good stuff coming in. So let's not delay, let's go through this. First, we are going to talk about Invaders, number 4. This was kind of a boring issue. We finally find out what the relation between Namor and Xavier is. And I'll be honest with you, it's not that interesting. You could probably blow this issue off. No great revelations in this. Just Xavier doing what he normally does, being smarter than everybody else and failing at it. Next, we got Superman number 10. This has been an okay story. Superman's son, John, comes back, tells the entire story. That took a couple of issues. And then apparently Superman and him are going to fly back into space to talk to Jor-El. Why? I don't know. The kid's home. Relax. Let the kid get a cup of pudding before you send him back into space. Next, we got Wonder Woman number... What issue is this? Number 68. Doesn't really matter. This is just straight up a cover buy. And I have been lying to you when I say I'm not getting this anymore. And then they come out with these beautiful covers, and it just looks great with my other ones. This story, apparently, somebody does not know their older stories very well because they're just throwing a bunch of stuff together and throwing it up against the wall, and it's not sticking. Next, as Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the tie-in to the War of the Realms. We find out the Asgardians' role in the War of the Realms. And any time that you have Throg in this, that's the Thor frog, that's awesome. And they kind of have this kind of cool thing where he's been neglecting frogs in Central Park, and he goes to help them out, finding out that they're all dead. And now he's mad. And apparently, objectively, he's like the strongest one out of their group, which is weird. But I've really been enjoying it. It's kind of a quirky thing. It's fun. It's cosmic. Why not? Next is Astro Hustle number 2. I really liked the first issue, and I think it was just because it was a new comic book. Because this one just seemed kind of dry to me. I don't know if I'm going to be picking up any more of these. But it was a decent read, but it's not something that's really gripping me in any way. Next, Winter Soldier number 5. This brings us to the conflict between Winter Soldier and JR, or RJ. RJ's his name. I can't even say I'm dyslexic. I'm just stupid. So what do we get in this one? Well, if you don't know, Winter Soldier killed RJ's dad and then kind of confessed to it. And that created some conflict. And RJ did the right thing. Instead of going over and hanging out with the bad guys, he ambushes the guy with the nunchucks and lights him up while he's in his car. Full auto. Devastation. I almost got goosebumps on the back of my neck. It was awesome. All right, so books that I haven't read yet. Symbiote Spider-Man number 1. I went with this variant right here. I believe this is a 1 in 25 variant. Good stuff looking here so far. I just kind of flipped through it to make sure I wanted to buy it. Don't know much about the story. We'll get that read this weekend, and all these books will be reviewed on Blasters Fashion, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. So you can't beat that. Link will be down below, too, by the way. So, yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man number 1 went with that variant. Another variant that I went with was Amazing Spider-Man. This is number 19. We're still in the Craven hunt down in Central Park with all the rich people that are kind of remotely virtual reality working robots to hunt down all the animal-themed villains. That's been good stuff so far. The last issue was sad as all get out. So hopefully this one kind of is a little bit more action-packed. Next, another 1 in 25 or 1 in 10. It's some sort of variant. And it's Journeys into Mystery number 1. It's another tie-in for the War of the Realms. I'm really liking the War of the Realms, but I do not think I'm going to be getting all the tie-ins. Apparently it's going to be very expensive to get into all the tie-ins. So be careful out there. Kind of flip through a book before you decide to buy it, because not all the tie-ins are going to be relevant to the main story. So just be a smart buyer. Next, a comic book that I've been enjoying, you don't really hear a whole lot about, is Gunning for the Hits music thriller. This is a great comic book if you like witty banter between characters and smugness of people. And it's just a fun read, and it really does help when you read through. So if you've got like large comic books that you have to get through or just choose to get through, it's a nice break in between there. Next, we got Detective Comics number 1001. First full appearance of Arkham Knight. I'm kind of excited about this. I don't know much about the Arkham Knight. I did not play the video game, so I'm kind of excited to learn more about him. And plus, I mean, with that cover, how could you not pick this copy up? Like, legit, right? Next, we got Dead Man Logan number 6. Mysterio's back in the insane asylum voluntarily. Mind you, everybody's dead in the thing. He's just hanging out in there. And Logan's going to go talk to himself. Not metaphorically, but literally. He's going to go talk to himself. Pretty cool. Next, we got The Batman Who Laughs number 4. This is the issue where we find out how he can see through these spiked bandana over his eyes thing. They're going to give us that information. Is that relevant? I don't know. Is it playing into the story well? I don't know. I do know that Batman's got to figure it out too, because he's been juicing up on the chemicals to fight him. So that would be interesting. Another book that I've really been enjoying, both for the action in it and some of the nuances of things they've been throwing in it. We've talked about regret in this book. We've talked about utilitarianism, which is a common theme in comic books. But in this particular one, Avengers No Road Home, both deep and entertaining, all at the same time. Oh man, I highly recommend this. And I'm kind of curious where this is going to go and what, I don't know, maybe Conan's role is going to be in this. I would like to see him have a more important role. And of course, I want to see some of that goodness between Rocket Raccoon and the Hulk as well. Next, just for its violent nature, X-Force number 6. This is a great book. I hope they continue on. We should be leading into another arc here really soon. Or no, we're closing one out and kind of finding out who the bad guys are in this, because they've been in another warp. So that should be interesting. Next, the book we've all been waiting for. If you got Web of Venom, Cult of Carnage number 0, you've been waiting for this, because man, did they leave you on a cliffhanger on that one. And finally, they brought it. Now, I had to go with this cover right here, because Venom and Spider-Man on a cover, that's always a good cover, like legit. And it was regular price, which made it even better. So I'm kind of curious where this is going to go. We're going to get some good stuff. Noel's going to be back in the picture. Let's see what happens. Let's see here. X-23. We're going to have conflict in this one. Is it going to be a family conflict? How is that going to be viewed? Let's find out in this one. Gabby wants this kind of family environment where X-23 doesn't really want it. Let's see how that plays out in the end, if they do end up kind of parting ways, or what the conflict is going to be between them. It's got to come to some point, at some point, I guess. Let's see here. Batman number 68. Hey, in case you didn't know, in Batman 50, Catwoman and Batman did not get married. But what if they did, and they had a bachelorette party for Catwoman and all the ladies? If you have ever thought about that at night, I mean, it kept you awake, you're going to find out in this issue. Truth is, nobody asked for this story. But we're going to get it anyway. At least, hopefully, they can make it funny. I doubt they will. It'll probably come off weird. My speculation, I haven't read it yet, and I really haven't flipped through it. Great artwork's going to be in it. Catchy little dialogue's going to be in it. And then at the end, we're going to have another one of those hologram, it's all in your head moments. It's just going to suck and not make sense, because that's what these writers are doing in this series. It's horrible. It's lazy writing. All right, 2 books that have been speculated on very heavily in our comic book community. One is Fair Lady. Again, haven't read it. Want to give it a fair shot? Apparently, this is about a female who disguised herself as a male to get into the military, and is also the first female detective that basically finds out that some of the lesser cases actually are more important. And apparently there's a thing that looks like a Chewbacca, only it's a cat in it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So let's find out. Let's give it a read. Hopefully it will surprise us. Some of these independent titles have been kind of surprisers lately, so that should be kind of interesting. And, of course, last but not least, we got Faithless, number 1. This is the one that has the controversial polybag, full frontal nudity cover. Okay, I don't really need that kind of stuff in my collection. And then I kind of flipped through the book, and this thing is dirty. It's like shamefully dirty. So yeah, we'll give it a read. I'm not sure how I feel about it, although I did think that cover was pretty cool. Let's give it a read. Let's see what it's about. I can speculate on it, but I want to go into it open-minded, I guess. All right, so if you haven't known, I'm doing a 100 subscriber contest. Down below, I have 5 entries that are current now. This contest ends April the 15th, so definitely get your subscriptions in, or I'm sorry, your videos in as quickly as possible. If you don't know, take a comic book that has some sort of meaning behind it. It can be philosophical or psychological. Either way, and just talk about it. What you learned from it, what's in it, just talk to it. Super easy. Down below, we have Metarog did a great one on philosophy, talking about utilitarianism. Spectacular Spider Grandpa, my buddy, did one about sadness, and he talked about Thanos, and I believe it was the Infinity Gauntlet and how it made him sad. That comic book made him sad. It's psychological. I'll go with it. We got, Ruben Nieves kind of talked about the psychological, or the psychology of evil. And I thought that was pretty interesting. We also got Blaster Stash It, or Huey's Comics from the Blaster Stash It show. He did one, I believe it was on the death of Captain Marvel. And I think he kind of did like a psychological / philosophical point of view on that, because he was talking about death and the stages of grief that you go through, but then he also kind of flipped it into this whole legacy thing and kind of building that. I thought that was really interesting. Good job. And then last but not least, we had Mastodon Comics and Collecting. He did his, again, it was kind of a mixed one, where he talked about religion, and he kind of talked about the psychological effects of such things and the philosophy of it. He kind of went back and forth on that. I thought it was a great job. So yeah, those guys are doing a great job. So definitely get involved in this contest. Trust me, just talk about the comic. Don't get worried about the verbiage and all that other stuff. And if you're actually on point, just talk about what the comic taught you about those 2 subjects. And if you don't know, talk about the comic anyway. I'll help you out. That's easy enough. So definitely that contest ends on April the 15th. Jump in, get involved. What do you win? Well, technically it's 2 contests. Because it's philosophical and psychological. And in the box, we're going to have a box about, I don't know, about yay big, about yay wide. And on the inside is going to be stuff. So, yeah. There'll be comic books and other stuff in there. Trust me, I'm going to have some good stuff in there for you. Definitely. We'll try to spread out the age of stuff as well. So you get a little bit of goodness from several genres of life and comic books. At that, even, I don't know, maybe some cool stuff. And yes, the prizes are already picked. The boxes are pretty much packed. Everything's just sitting off to the side. So definitely check that out. Folks, I am heading out of town tomorrow. That's why this video came in early. I will be in Northern Virginia for the American Legion Northern Regional Championships. These are the regional championships for youth air rifle shooters, Olympic-style air rifle. Before the state tournament, which is the first weekend in May. So I'm going to be in and out, but I will see you at Blaster Stash It Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, where we're going to review a lot of these books here and give our opinions about them. And hopefully we disagree, because that's when the show gets better. All right, guys, stay cool, have a great weekend, and I will see you all Sunday night.